Laser
Okay, let me join up.
Snipe is on Team Supply Block, and sCriv is a Terran player from Chobos with Attitude, CWA.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, I'm in.
All right, so gonna be starting off. Map number one for week one was
And we've got
Fighting
Laser
Spirit.
Snipe in the Twitch chat saying that he is a noob. So we'll see. And we've got in the top left, we've got CWA, sCriv, the white Terran, spawning on top of Fighting Spirit.
and
And
in,
in the bottom left, oh,
it's fine.
we've got.
I didn't establish this, but we normally just alternate, just go
Okay,
one,
got
one,
it.
one. Yeah. So in the bottom here, as the yellow Protoss, it's Laser Snipe, the admin for CPL, an admin.
Okay. So, PVT. I quite enjoy this matchup as well, because I like to play PVT. I'm not particularly good at it, but when I do, when you do win, you're pumping at a bunch of gateways and building arbors, and you feel like you're best. It's my favorite Korean player.
Yeah, PVT is actually a matchup that I haven't played a lot in the last couple weeks. I really do need to, because if I was up against a PVT in the next week or something, I would be kind of be hosed. Because it seems like every person in our B team is Zerg, and a lot of our A team is Zerg as well. So whenever most of the people that are on when I'm on are Zerg, so I really need to get in some intentional PVT practice.
Or Protoss. It seems like they're all Protoss or Zerg.
Mm-hmm.
We've got about one.
We're a PVZ specialized team.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's fortunate because Beast is a PVZ specialist, so.
Mm-hmm. So we've got one, pretty standard looking from. Was it sCriv?
sCriv, yeah.
Nothing really out of the ordinary from what we're seeing early. We've got. Is this a cross map scout from Laser Snipe? I think so. We will see if he. Oh no. Okay, he's scouting correctly.
Yeah, just to check for proxies there. Nice. Especially in a CPL match when anything could happen. And going to be scouting correctly. Nice. sCriv is not, and then also did throw him off there. So, yeah, just a normal gate timing, and what we see will Laser Snipe want to expand pretty fast, get up to 2 gates pretty fast. Going to be interesting to see. Haven't seen him play a ton, so I don't know what his preferred PVT style is. He is getting his Zealot out, which is interesting. Being a little bit more defensive, a little bit more safe. And maybe wants to try to harass a little bit here.
Yeah, because obviously a lot of the time you'll see if a Protoss is being a little greedy, they'll go straight to a Dragoon. Or they'll even wait and try to get Dragoon range before they build a Dragoon. Before they queue a Dragoon.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the ultimate, you can tell if they're worried about. But yeah, the way he's moving with the Zealot and the probe across the map, it looks like he thinks he can get a little damage done. A little harassed. Because, where's the, okay, we do the factory about 75% done. The SCV actually is going to scout Laser Snipe last, so he doesn't know this was coming.
Yeah, nice micro with the Marines from sCriv, and I don't think this Zealot is going to get anything done. Ooh, the Ninja Probe. Probe is the MVP here. Gets the lone kill.
This is a good scout. This is actually this is also a nice scout for the probe, since he was able to slip by, not only kill a Marine, but also slip by and scout everything in the base of sCriv.
Yep, one goon out as well, just pumping goons, and looks like no second gate. We won't see. It looks like Snipe is supply blocked here. That is painful. His goon production. Yeah, that's a.
The hero probe dies, and spider mines immediately start after the probe dies. So, based on the amount of Marines we've got here, he could go a little something, but we do have the Dragoons out and a second gate on the way.
Yes.
Dragoon range about to finish.
Second gate out, and I mean that was a really hard supply block here. This is a push coming out, the tank and spider mines, and that extra Dragoon or two that's going to be not available might come back to haunt Snipe here. We'll see how aggressive sCriv wants to be here. He's pushing out here. Nice timing. Starts a CC behind this. So smooth timing from sCriv.
Dragoons are coming up to meet up with the Zealot. This may allow him to take out some Dragoons, or take out some Marines on the way back to weaken the push. But if with proper might, okay, so he picks off one. So we have the Vulture coming up, and Spider Mines have finished. So that's the last part of this push, or the last required part to push all the way across.
We've got 2 Marines down, although the shields on the Dragoons are pretty low, and he might actually get the Vulture. That's actually quite huge. Means a lot less spider mines here. That's a pretty big deal.
But 1 mine does get down.
1 mine down, not in a scary place though.
And we've got the Robo coming in for laser snipe. We have a probe at the top. It's not doing anything. Maybe it was gonna build a pylon. Second factory coming up, and an academy. So yeah, Reaver could be a possible tech here since we're going Robo, or it could just be a move for observers since he knows that mines are coming out.
Yeah, the Nat just finishing up, so it's going to be a little bit of a 2 gate. Maybe we'll see 3 gate Reaver play. So, or maybe not. We'll may only see observers.
Yeah, it'll all be down to whatever happens when the Robo finishes. But right now, just pumping Dragoons. He's not supply blocked. He's got a solid little force of Dragoons with range, and there's not really anything building over on sCriv's side. He's got 1 tank in production and 1 tank sieged up. So it looks like it's going to be a bit of a defensive play from here for our Terran. He's floating out the engineering bay, and he's going to be building some turrets.
Yeah, the 3rd gate just finished up for laser snipe, and interested to see what he's going to place down with this probe. If he will go for a robotics facility or, okay, just a pylon here. What will he put down?
So we've got scans. We've got a scan on the middle left base by the Terran just to see if laser snipe was going for 3rd base. He sees none, and he has a spider mine in the 6 o'clock location. So he knows there's no 3rd base in either of the close locations. So he must be figuring that there is some sort of powering going on to a higher tech.
Yeah, and I think what laser snipe is going to do is, the Citadel is up, and is almost up, so he's probably going to be going for dropships here with Zealots to combat this tank force. It's a nice move, and laser snipe.
First observer, or second observer out. So it was just a robo facility to build observers, not Reavers.
Yeah, Reavers at this point require a little bit more micro and are a little bit quite a bit harder for players of my caliber, this caliber here, to pull off and not get overwhelmed.
Not overwhelm yourself with attempting to micro the Reaver, because it is a very micro intensive unit. You're not really going to get the value out of it if you're not microing it pretty hard. So it can be a detriment to the rest of your game if you're you can micro it to your own detriment.
Yeah, laser snipe's macro is falling behind a little bit. He's got a lot of idle probes. His gateways are not producing, and he is going for, looks like, relatively fast arbiters. He's got his 3rd base up, and so pretty solid 3 base arbiter timing for laser snipe. The question is, will he have enough to defend this tank force coming out? He's got about 1 control group of goons, and still no gate production. He's throwing down more now. And it looks like the Zealot ball might be a little bit late. It depends how early sCriv wants to push out.
Yeah, so we've just got him right now going for 3rd. It's not a particularly early 3rd. It's scanned immediately by sCriv. we've got him scanning the natural, he sees the dragoons, and we've got him seeing the 2 gates. But he does not, it's important to mention, he does not see the Stargate, the Temple Archives, or the Arbiter Tribunal with either of those 3 scans. So, it could be, I would assume that he would not think it's a carrier play, because you've got a lot of Grand Army here, but you never know.
Yeah, carriers, aren't particularly good. I like.
On this map.
I prefer Arbiters 1. The recall into the 3rd of Terran is strong, especially if it's bottled up and into the main as well. There's quite a bit of space, angles Arbiters can come into.
9 tank push coming up. Not very many vultures, but also not very many zealots. So.
Laser Snipe engaging the front of this. There's no observer here, so means that these spider mines are going to get established. And meanwhile, the tanks pushing down, using the river here at their backs, which is a nice play from tanks, reducing the surface area that the zealots can get onto them. The dragoons.
There's not much anti-air here. There's only the marines. If he can bomb.
It looks like Laser Snipe is trying to dive in with his goons, but it's not working. Well.
Zealot bombing, and speed zealots just finished. This should be quashed.
That was really nice there. I did not see that shuttle just come in at the perfect time to minimize the fire on the goons. He has a decent number of goons up now. If I was Snipe, I would just focus on your gateway production, not get too ahead of yourself here, dive in and lose a lot of dragoons. Goons, the backbone of the Protoss army.
He doesn't have the. He only has 1. Oh. Okay, he took a couple hits from mines, but I thought it could be worse. He only had 1 observer, and it was behind. Very mined up third base. sCriv is trying to take his 3rd with no siege tanks right here, and Laser Snipe sees this with his observer. He sees there's no tanks up here, so he's not afraid of this with his dragoons.
Yeah, dragoons going to be pushing up into this heavy vulture force, though. Decent focus firing with those dragoons.
Ooh, he's taking hits with spider mines over to the left.
Yeah, I don't really like this trade. Honestly, goons for vultures, a trade a Terran will take any day.
But if he's able to get up there and deny the 3rd base, then I'd say it's worth it. Because there's only going to be 1 vulture left. Now he's able to push up, take out the mine. If he can kill that SCV before it finishes, he won't be able to.
At this point, though, losing that many goons, that's... Snipe's standing army is pretty small here. I'm not sure that's a trade that he necessarily wanted to make, although that it if executed maybe differently, it could have been good. But it looks like Snipe is gonna.
Yeah, he lost a lot and was not able to deny the 3rd. So.
Yeah, putting his 4th up as well right now.
Yep. Right now, we've got Arbiter about to finish. But yeah, the standing army is not very large. And only 6 finished gates. Okay, first Arbiter is just finished.
And I don't think recall was researched. I'm not sure.
We've got vultures coming up to the top right. Obviously, they are going to be able to scout the base. The probe's hidden off to the side.
And
this is a little troublesome with no observer.
Yeah, the goons are going to get slaughtered here against the mines. And this is just really painful here. Honestly, these vultures whittling away at that nexus, forcing some annoying
and more
play.
Vultures on the way. More vultures on the way.
Honestly,
yeah,
I think
they might. I think they'll be able to take it. If not take it out, they'll at least be able to heavily damage it, and it will be a chore for any Protoss units to get up here.
Yeah, I think Snipe should cancel it right now. Well, he's gonna let it finish, but it's gonna die.
It's going to die. There's just too many mines that will delay the dragoons pushing forward, and it does die.
Ooh.
So that's really rough.
And now, honestly, these vultures are gonna be uncontested.
There is a pretty large standing army at the front of the natural for Laser Snipe, but is it going to be able to? What is he going to do with it? If he has recall, I don't know what's... Okay, recall is researching and it's about to finish. That could be something that could get him back into the game. uh, well, he's in the game, but it could get him back into a leading position if he was able to get a successful recall on a third base, for example. Because right now, sCriv is not really attempting to push or anything. He's massing tanks at his natural, and he's happy to stay on his third base and mass up tanks.
Yeah, 3 bases is really all Terran needs to pump out a maxed mech force with good upgrades. And this is a situation we see can honestly be avoided by a couple Dragoons here up at the top. And it's unfortunate to see this base just get harassed to death. And honestly, his best option is to go for a good recall. And a recall into the third would be good.
He is rebuilding the base. His probe in the bottom right was never killed by the vultures, so he was able to immediately rebuild the base, but it's still a very delayed fourth.
Very late fourth. And the mech force and the nat for sCriv, who's, by the way, his macro has been quietly really good here. Healthy number of facts pumping, and he's putting mines in the main. He knows recall is probably Snipe's best option. This is really smart in the main, although I think he needs to do the same thing in the third
base,
which he may be doing. Yeah, we'll see. But
we'll see.
That's the type of small thing that players at really good levels will do, but it makes a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. Any sort of recall into the main is going to be very inefficient. But Laser Snipe has an observer in the middle of all of the factories. So he sees these mines. So I don't think he's going to think it's a good idea to recall into the main anyway. If he's going to be recalling, it's likely that he's going to be... Okay, so sCriv actually has view of the army. Or he just scanned on the army, so that's a very good scan. But if Laser Snipe is going to go for any recall, I really if you look at the third base fortification for sCriv, it's very heavily fortified, so I don't think that is a good spot to recall either.
He might be able to pull a control group of zealots. Well, there's quite a few. It would be tough, and the Arbiter would definitely die, and it might be a suicide mission anyways at this point. Meanwhile, a control group or 2 of vultures are streaming in, and this 5th of Laser Snipe is not going to be up. There are some Dragoons at the ramp, but losing tons of probes in the transfer. This is so painful.
Yeah, we've got a lot of more probes coming.
This is probe genocide right now, and the Arbiter.
And now we've got zealots running into space with no observers. However, this is if these vultures are to get cleared, then it's almost exclusively tanks.
Thing is, vultures are free units pretty much in a PvT and can be produced so quick.
He actually that wasn't very. I don't think that was very good.
It wasn't a. Yeah.
He didn't. Okay, the probes may make it worth it, but actually, the damage he did with the vultures was not very high, and he lost about 30 supply worth of vultures just to damage the Nexus. Although it can get picked off.
The probes are killer, though. I mean, that's 20 plus probes.
But we do have almost no vultures in the army, and there's a lot of zealots pushing right on here in the main battle. There's no vultures here.
It is actually a really nice stasis.
The zealots are really going ham because there's no vultures, and this is going to be a devastating... All these tanks are going to die.
Really well executed.
Yeah, that's the danger of losing all the vultures in the army, because Laser Snipe can see, hey, you just lost 30 supply of vultures. I've got a lot of zealots. And, the wrong army composition. Now there's not enough tanks. Now there's 4 tanks, and the tank is sort of the counter to the Dragoon. And he's going to take out these siege tanks that are stasis. So, I liked picking off the vultures, but I think he needed to get out of there after he did that. Trying to take out the Nexus was greedy.
Yeah, killing the probes was a smart priority, but throwing that many away you're right. It's extremely risky, and Laser Snipe punished him there. Although this push out here, I think ultimately the slow
It
mech
puts him in a very
push.
bad position. It puts Laser Snipe in a very bad position with all these spider mines and, you know, if he's able to push down to, man, that is a very aggressive expansion as well at the 9 o'clock.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's a nice choice though. Expanding to the top here would not be the best because Laser Snipe can swing up and hit it very easily. But it looks like we're going to see kind of a trickle-in engagement. These Dragoons are just going to get slaughtered. They're kind of trickling in piecemeal. Meanwhile, some Force are coming up the other side. They're just going to get slaughtered by Spider Mines. And this is just a mess here. Yeah, that was just not... As good as the last engagement was, this was just trickle in and lost pretty much everything.
The last engagement for Laser Snipe was the lack of vultures allowed his zealots to really do incredible work. But yeah, there are too many vultures here. If Laser Snipe knew about this fourth base, though, he'd very easily be able to recall and completely destroy it.
His Arbiter energy, he's had to reproduce Arbiters, and Arbiter energy is not something that gets reproduced extremely fast. So Laser Snipe hanging on by the skin of his teeth. He's got some gates up in his fourth.
He has a good amount of money. There's actually a large amount of army just sitting right next to the gateways in the top right, in the bottom right. He's still in the game, but that was a very rough engagement. I would say that it took Laser Snipe from being ahead to being slightly behind, if not well behind, because we've got a 3-2 mech army that is just going to be able, if he's able to camp outside the natural and fortify the position, then it's going to be very rough for Laser Snipe. But he does have the gateways in the bottom right that allow him to build flanking forces. So if this could be an overextension by sCriv, especially if there's a really good stasis here. This is a very good potential stasis. Well, I'm not sure that's the stasis he wanted, but there was a lot of potential there.
Yeah, nice stasis, actually allowing really thing the tank numbers, and meanwhile Zealot's getting on top of some of the tanks. This actually is going pretty well for Laser Snipe right now.
Yeah, that was an overextension, I think. There was not enough units there for him to push like that, and he loses both vessels as well. And now we've still got units pushing down here. I hope he turns these around.
Yeah, Laser Snipe's macro has been pretty decent this game, and he needs to just make sure he gets on top of this tank force to really get the money out of his stasis. And
he's building a base at the 3 o'clock.
Oh, the tanks, didn't quite get enough on the tanks, and now he's lost quite a few Dragoons there. That hurts. Dragoons take the longest to make, and they cost gas.
Oh, he's got units sitting right here that can clear this tank, but he's continuing to lose units. Okay, so we actually have him scouting this base that is undefended at the top right. This is likely what Laser Snipe is going to be targeting. He has a zealot taking out their comm set at this base. This is probably where we're going to have our battles. For whoever can control this top right.
Ooh, the second half of this engagement though was so good for sCriv. He took out so many Dragoons that now Laser Snipe's army is basically back to square one.
But he has immediately remaxed, and he's forced all of these SCVs they're running across map from a single zealot. So this is a very good move from Laser Snipe, and he's immediately remaxed. But we do have the 3-2 mech is always going to 3-3. No,
he's not max right now. He's actually only at 160 supply.
Oh really? It says 199 for me.
Are you ahead in the replay? Are we watching the same replay?
Yes.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, mine says 167.
Oh no, okay, I'm looking at the stream right now. Yeah, mine. I guess the glitch happens. I've seen the glitch happen where the supply is messed up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just watch the stream to cast then. Okay, so yeah, we've got 162. Yeah, his supply is still okay, but he's in a different place than I thought he was. When I thought he was at maxed supply.
Yeah, this push out from sCriv is nice. Actually, he's gonna walk back though. He needs to get some spider mines before he can really engage into that. And fighting some of this force in the open map. But this is the thing that's crazy here is that the 4th up for sCriv is really all he needs, I think, to win. And he's got 5 bases right now. Recall could be nice. Oh, the Arbiter does not have energy for a recall. If he recall to control Cove Zealots, that could be nice. But looks like
he has
going to defend.
9 o'clock. Yeah, I don't think he doesn't have enough energy to recall with this Arbiter, so I'm not sure what's doing there.
Snipe getting some harass up at this 5th is nice, and will force a Vulture pull over. And honestly, Snipe's macro has been really solid. Now he is maxed and definitely been on top of it here.
Wait, could you tell me your in-game time on that timer?
2:25:21.
Okay, I am at the same time. It was just a visual. It's just the supply is wrong for me, so I continue to cast. Okay.
Yeah, this is pretty insane here. Snipe is actually doing really good here. He's splitting up, taking out that base is a nice trade, although still not really a crucial base for sCriv here, because he does have a CC floating over.
Okay, he has eliminated the CC in the top right, so that is a bit annoying for sCriv. Yeah, we've got a massive bank for Laser Snipe. The real key, I think, to we had Laser Snipe in a somewhat bad position after his army was eliminated a little earlier in the game. After he took a very good engage and eliminated all the tanks, we had him in a bad position because much of his army was eliminated and it didn't do that much damage. But the key was that he was able to build a flanking force with all the gateways in the bottom right, which if you can do that, then all of a sudden you've got, you're building armies from 2 separate sides of the map, which really can make it hard for the Terran. And man, the Terran's natural is that's a lot of units.
Yeah, that's his really insane. That was such another really good engagement for Snipe there. Took that kind of at a weird angle. I thought, oh no, Snipe might just sacrifice a ton of goons, but really solid there. There really wasn't very many spider mines up at all, which was a bit of a mistake for Criv. When you're engaging, you have to get the spider mines up if you're going to be able to fight. Hey, looks like Neblime in the chat saying logs into tanks casting. You're welcome, man.
Yeah, of course. Happy to do it. And so we've got these vultures in the top right. I'm actually I think there is a bit of a glitch with my I think my replay is bugged because I actually have sCriv's army is all on his natural and he's at 200 supply. Yeah, I don't think that's so I think I've got a bit of a bug. So I'll just
watch from the stream.
Yeah, I'll have to watch from the stream, so I'll be a bit behind. But it looks Snipe is in a good position from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, sCriv, the thing is that he has a massive gas bank, but not a solid mineral bank. He only has 300, and his third is mined out already. So he only has his fourth, and a really good recall into the only mining base of sCriv currently. And this is all goons. This is just going to massacre this SEV force, and some will get out, but serious damage done.
Yes, and when you look at the way sCriv has been producing vultures the entire game, he's been really on top of his vulture production, more or less, like a heavy reliance on vultures. So you can kind of see that he hasn't had a problem spending his minerals, since he's had very large and dominating vulture forces throughout the game. So that's sort of the reason. And he's really struggling to get a base together. So we've got Laser Snipe building a base in the top right while sCriv is mining from the natural the same base, and that's usually not a great sign, especially when you're having to run away all your SCVs. So I think we're getting to the beginning of the end here when you're not able to mine any minerals.
Yeah, Snipe, I mean, he's almost, well, he's getting close to being maxed. He will be maxed in a few moments here. His gate number is quite healthy. He's had 2 gate centers up for a very long time. He's mining pretty well, and just a really solid
His
game played
gas
by him.
is a little low. His gas is a
It
little
is,
low,
but
but
at this point in the game,
large
Zealots are
mineral
super
bank.
cost effective.
And really, he can trade in effectively with how many bases that he's mining. That's the key factor. When you're limiting the Terran bases here, the Terran has to trade very effectively. And if he's having to push out and defend forward bases, then it becomes much harder to trade effectively, especially against recalls.
Ooh, the EMP did land. That's actually pretty big, so there will be no stasis here. But the wraparound Zealots are going to be pretty good. I think this Goon Zealot force is going to be able to trade here. This is pretty much the last force that sCriv has. He has some reinforcements trickling in, but yeah, pretty much the rest is in SCVs. And GG is called. Laser Snipe takes a game lead.
Yeah, very well played game. Very much a. That's sort of the game I think of when I think of PvT, modern day PvT. It's sort of a Protoss spread across the map, building units out of multiple mains with a bunch of gateways, and they're just trying to use their spellcasting units to sort of get efficient trades, because they're usually mining a lot more than the Terran. It looked really good for sCriv when he was mining effectively 5 bases and had his 3-2 mech, but just some really good engages.
Yeah,
Later in that game.
really solid
After
play.
one very bad one. One very bad engage where we kind of were thinking, ooh, is Lasers, is he going to get beat here? So here, let me join up. Unfortunately, the latter part of that game, when I was in there, it was all I saw was sCriv's natural flooded with 200 supply of siege tanks. It wasn't a pretty sight.
Okay, Melon Monkey, or aka Arden, says he wants to obs or spectate, so if he gets in a couple minutes, I'll let him in. And I mean a couple seconds.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So, Aztec for game 2. It's a 3-player map. It spawns at the top, bottom right, and the middle left. Just trying to get a little information for people. This is probably our least known map that is being played at the moment. So
Yeah.
most people do match point because it's more or less the only set 2-player map that's getting one of the only 2-player maps that's getting played at the moment. So this is kind of it's got the low grand main, high grand natural. So it can be interesting.
Yeah,
Low grand. Oh,
sorry. I was just going to say that I think definitely the last map really plays into that style, the massive gateway swarm style. In this map, you have to approach it a little differently as Protoss because you might not get a second main up and you'll get less angles. So you have to think about your trades a bit differently.
Definitely. Although I do think that this map is wait, is the other guy in here?
He is, so we can start once we're ready.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Yeah, I'll expand upon it once we get into the map. Oh, here, let me turn on my I turned off my Okay. So we in the bottom left, middle left, we've got CWA sCriv, or what do we call this? Tan,
like
Terran?
pink,
peach Terran.
And in the other side, opposing side, the red Protoss, it's Laser Snipe.
Winner of our first game with a very back and forth game between the two. So what I was going to say was the low ground main, high ground natural part of this map makes it, I feel like Protoss, if they want to get aggressive, you can, if you're able to contain the Terran inside of their own base, it can be very effective. Like, for example, something, I doubt it will happen, but something like a proxy Reaver or some sort of aggressive play where you're forcing them to fight uphill against, or even against dragoons, is strong on when you've got the low ground main. But so we've got a supply depot being built that makes me think we might see maybe a gasless expand or something like that.
Yeah, gasless expand. Definitely not out of the question here on this map. Seen it a few times. And laser snipe will probably go into that same build he did last time. I didn't see the exact number. I think that was a 3-gate obs, 28-gate expand, which is a nice, comfortable opening you can do. It's a standard economical opening, not super greedy. That counters a lot of different things, and you can transition out of into a wide variety.
Yeah, and the observer allows you safety from, spider mines, which can be, very deadly in any sort of situation. And also, technically, if you wanted to, any sort of Robotech can transition into later Reaver, which they have to prepare for it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, okay, actually, gateway goes up, so it looks like it's going to be a 10-15 gate. And 10-15 is a aggressive build, and I like it on Neo Aztec because you're not fighting up a ramp, you're fighting down a ramp, which definitely favors the Dragoons. So
and he's going to have to be building a bunker here. Yeah, this is what I mean by the aggressive builds here. Like anything like the 10-15 gate or early Reaver. You're putting them in a position where if they get shoved down their own ramp, they're gonna have a heck of a time getting out of there. And we've got an incorrect scout from both. We've got laser sniper realized it first, so he's gonna be heading over. And so yeah, we've got the 10-15 gate versus the gasless expand. So it's gonna come down to, who's got better control and who what am I trying to say?
More confident.
Who's got the better control and who's got the better decision making.
Yeah, I think 10-15 builds a build that I really like and I miss seeing. I think kind of the modern era, the fighting spirit circuit breaker era, if you want to call it like that, where those maps are so prevalent. 10-15 gateway not really as good because of course you have to go up a ramp. But on some of these older maps, like Aztec, like Jade, like Taucross,
Gladiator,
definitely, yeah, it becomes an option, and it's kind of it's nice to see once in a while. SCV does see the 3 goons coming out here, so he will have an idea of what's going on. And interesting enough, though, the barracks is past the bunker, so if anything, the goons will most likely be able to get that down, even if they can't. Or just run through. There's quite a bit of space. They might just run through and straight into the midline.
Citadel immediately.
That is interesting.
For laser snipe. And 2 more gates, and Dragoon range has finished. So, this is where things get interesting. So obviously, the goons outrange the bunker when properly positioned. So we're going to have to get repairs.
Oh, whiffing on the repairs a little bit there.
Whoa.
That was...
Whoa. Yeah, that's a little scary. You usually don't see it get that low when you've got. Yeah, this is actually a bit too much. You should have 1 SCV per Dragoon, but it will be fine in a second when the 5th comes up. But yeah, you usually are going for 1 SCV per. Ooh, but he pulls one off, and now a 4th one is going to come in, and then eventually a 5th. Missile turret coming in. I guess he thinks some sort of Templar or Reaver is coming up, and Templar Archives is coming up.
Yeah, this is up to 5 goons, going to be 7 now. This will be able to bust this bunker, and there are actually some goons that are firing onto the barracks.
Tank is only halfway done.
Even the laser snipe is not priority focusing. It was actually maybe purposely going for the barracks.
Oh,
he will be able to get this bunker.
That's actually, it means he won't be able to build another, if this barracks does burn down. It looks like it won't burn down. Oh, maybe not.
He's jumping forward and gunning down the CVs, and now this barracks is gonna fall, and the tank is
Yeah,
just
not
out
being able
now.
to target- Not being able to target means that if the single tank goes down, Laser Snipe is losing a lot of dragoons here, though.
Yeah, lost 3 dragoons, but the tank will fall, and the repair is not going to be up in time.
And now he's forced onto the low ground with no units.
Yeah, well executed build.
Mm-hmm.
The barracks is gone.
Yeah, this is exactly. He can't build another factory, and he's got 3 SCVs mining. So this is exactly the sort of thing that we thought we might see on with the low ground main. It's very good for the Protoss to pressure. We got a single tank out, but
it's gonna siege up.
You can't really push up like this.
And I mean, you gotta be careful. He doesn't want to lose those goons. Was that siege late? Feels that way.
Well, the tanks were a bit late, I'd say. I'm not an expert of the timings, but it felt like the tanks and the Dark Templar were coming out.
Well,
what the follow-up was.
Yeah, he got the missile turret, and the timing did seem a little bit off. Normally the tank seems to pop a bit earlier than that. And
yeah, it seems like the tank usually pops when they've got before 6 or 7 dragoons.
Yeah, normally like the timing, at least for when I've done it, is like you usually have like 4 goons, then the tank pops, and then your next 2 goons rally in. That's typically the timing. It depends on the map, but this is a pretty short rust distance, so that could be a factor.
Yeah. Well, that was a well executed build especially for the map. So I think that was well played.
Yeah, well played, Laser Snipe. That was really good.
Yeah, difficult spot for the Terran there, because that's a very solid economic build. But that's kind of, I've seen that build kind of as a counter to it. If you can, especially picking off that first tank, there isn't much the Terran can do after that. So.
Yeah, Laser Snipe, if you're watching, you should be proud. Those were 2 solid games. The first one looked dicey, but you pulled it out. And the second game, that was a crisp 10-15.